Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I am loving life freely on YouTube. I am thrilled that you're with us today. We are doing our Wednesday weekly chat, and I have some hot topics, so to speak, for you to chime in on with me. So if that is of interest to you and one of his Poshmark lives, stay tuned. So welcome back, y'all. I do have one of my topics today is a bit of a hot topic. I have not focused too much on lives and what they're doing. I have discussed a little bit, but today we're going to dive in a little bit more and talk about what Poshmark lives are doing and how they're going. And one of the reasons why I found this information is I was actually doing some research on one of the tools that I currently use and trying to decide if I'm going to switch from that current tool to a different tool, and I will talk about that also. But we do have a few topics. Sorry, my throat is feeling a little bit strained tonight because I just got done doing a live. And whatnot, so my throat's kind of, anyway. So I want to discuss a few different things. I have like four to five topics here I want to talk about with y'all today. And one of them is Poshmark Lives. We'll get to that in just a minute. First of all, I would like to say, if you are brand new to reselling, I would like to say welcome to the community. If you are brand new to my channel and this is your first video with us, I would still like to say welcome to our channel. We do a myriad of different things on this channel. One is this weekly chat that we started a few weeks ago, and it's going very well, I think, especially since we just started it. We've had some great conversation, great feedback, great thoughts. And I'm loving the direction of how things are going. We also do unboxings. We have some great unboxings coming up. And I have some solds that I've done. I did a quick short on some solds that I've had. If you haven't seen my short yet, please do feel free to watch it's a very quick short on some of the solds that I've had. I'm going to be doing another short here very soon. I am going to be implementing more shorts into my channel here. But things have been really, really busy for me as usual. But things have been really good this week for me also. And my sales have been picking up, which is one of the things we're going to be talking about. And listing tool. I think that's another thing that we're going to be talking about is some of the tools that we use, automation for our businesses. Do we use them or do we not? And what do we use and what works best for each one of us? Some people use certain things and some people don't. Some people use different companies. So we're going to kind of talk about that and Posh Lives. I would like to go ahead and dive into the Posh Lives first because I know some people, this is a really big hot button. I'm not going to make you guys go through the entire YouTube video today about reselling. Before we get to that, I'm going to jump into it first. For those of you who are really interested in what I have to say, we are going to be talking about sales and tools. So I do hope that you enjoy the entire video. So again, I was doing some research on automation. I do use a couple different tools for my reselling business. I do use a multi-lister. I do a cross-lister. I do use a cross-lister. I also use a Sure tool for my Poshmark, and I am contemplating changing the tool that I use via just some information that I've received on another YouTube watcher, or YouTube person. And so I'm trying to just do my own research to figure out if the tool that she currently uses would be good for me to use, the benefits that she's talked about, would it be beneficial for my business? And I think this is very important. Just because you see other people using certain tools doesn't mean they work for you. Always, always, always do your own research because your business is your business and their business is their business. And some tools, some companies may not work well for your business, or they might work well. You won't know that unless you research it yourself, dive into it, find out why they're saying this works for them. Will that be good and implemented in your business, or is it best for you to stay where you're at? Always, always do your own research for your own business model. But I feel that this could potentially be a good possible change for me. So I decided to do some research in it. And in the process of doing that, I found an article about Poshmark Lives. I'm going to share a little bit of this article with you. I'm also going to link this article down below so that you can plug into where this article is and read more of it yourself, because I'm not going to read the entire thing. It's long. And I'm not going to spend all of your time on this, but I do want to take a couple really important points that I think were noted in this article and share them with you. And I would love your thoughts in the comments down below. And again, I will link it so you can really read the entire thing because it's interesting. It has some interesting data in it that I did not even know. So I've learned a lot myself. I want to share it with you and get your thoughts and feedback, whether you think this information is true for your business, true for Poshmark, and where you think this is going. So I found this, and the original actual article is titled, Why Poshmark Lives Are Killing Your Sales and How to Fix It. So I was definitely intrigued because we're all wanting to know more about where this stuff is going, right? It goes into talking a little bit about Posh Lives auctions, how people are starting out their auctions. And one gal posted, it's all in this article, posted, please stop turning Posh shows into garage sales. One of the reasons why she said this and noted this in the article was because so many people are starting out the auctions on Poshmark super low. Now, before I go any further with this is my opinion and these are my thoughts. So if you disagree with me, feel free to put in the comments down below. I'm not offended. We want to share information, share our opinions. I personally think there's a difference between Posh Lives and Whatnot Lives. The reason why I say that is because Poshmark was originally created for people to resell at a decent price bracket items and not lowball price markets, price points, okay? When you're doing an auction, even on eBay, when you start an auction, they're not started at higher price brackets. It's the reason why it's an auction. Whatnot was created to be an auction-based app, not a listing-based app. So when you go on to Whatnot, I'm not going to go into it, but I don't think you should start your auctions out lower than actually making your money back. That's a totally different topic of conversation. But I say that to prove this point. I do feel that you could start your items at a much lower price bracket, it's an auction, than you would if you were actually selling on Poshmark. My opinion is that Poshmark Lives, people are going so low on the lives on a site that was originally purposed to actually sell the item flat out at a base price and not an auction price, okay? Now, I know that eBay does this. eBay has the ability to do a base price. You can do offers and all that. They also do auctions. And I guess Poshmark is trying to dive into that. Auctions on eBay do not conflict with actually selling on eBay. In my opinion, it doesn't affect your sales on eBay. But I also believe that eBay has been in this industry for so much longer. They've worked out the kinks with it. And eBay auctions don't affect actual base price listings, but on Poshmark, it is seriously affecting how things are going for those of us who are actually on there as sellers, selling our items at a decent price bracket, say $40 for a good quality item, and people are going into auctions and selling something that should sell for $40 on the platform, and they're selling it for $3 on auctions. So you can't, in my opinion, you can't really compare Whatnot to Poshmark in that way, because Whatnot was specifically created as an auction platform for people to go on and start bidding low and sell their items at a much cheaper price and be sellers where they want to sell lots and lots and lots and lots of items to make money versus just selling one item at $40. You get what I'm saying? So I don't think that it's a comparison that's reasonable when you're talking about auctions, because Poshmark wasn't originally created to be an auction-based thing. I may change my mind about that later down the road, but right now that's kind of how I see it. Because I do Whatnot auctions and I don't lose money when I do auctions. I at least make my call back, and again, that's a totally different topic of conversation. But on Poshmark, people are losing money. So that's why she was saying the Poshmarks are turning into garage sale shows, because literally it's like going to a garage sale and people are expecting to buy something for $3 and walk away with it, okay? People aren't happy as resellers that this is happening because we are getting some majorly lowball offers on things. This topic is going to be a bit of the conversation today. So she stated below that, I am going to read this. Please don't turn Poshmark shows into garage sales. The Poshmark buyer is conditioned to getting a deal, not a steal. Emphasis, a deal. Compared to retail stores, you're getting a good deal on a great piece, not a steal. You don't need to turn items at $3 and $5 and $10 to make sales. Starting items at 20% off asking price is enough. I agree 100%. Even 20% off is a really good percentage off on a product that's $40. If you're offering 20% off on that, that's a really good deal for an item that you're listing at $40. It's a good quality item. They're still getting a really great deal, right? She goes on to say, beyond that, it just doesn't make sense. Sell an item for $3 and make 5 cents because nobody bid it up. You're losing buy cost. Lose your buy cost. Sell an item for $15 and get $12 for the effort of listing. It's unnecessary. Okay? I don't do Posh Lives. I'm not even approved. They won't even approve me. And honestly, I'm very conflicted about whether or not I would want to do Posh Lives. Comps. This is another really important point that I did not think about until I read this that I wanted to share with you that's in this article. Number 2 that she pointed out, comps. The comps will be completely tanked by these low sale prices. Think about the long-term consequences of turning Posh shows into a garage sale. Poshmark is and always will be a unique platform in that something can sell for 2 to 3 times what it would sell elsewhere. Okay? The buyer expects to spend money. The ask for most thrift store resellers I know is above $20. Imagine the value you would be able to provide shoppers when we get bundle shipping on these shows. It's just not sustainable, financially or energy-wise. There will be a high rate of burnout. And then she goes on to say, reselling is not a get-rich-quick scheme. The downfall of Whatnot, okay, well, I'm not going to go into that. To me, Whatnot is for people who want to flip a lot of product quicker. It's very different than, I think it's different. Okay, and I'm not just saying that because I sell on there, because I have opinions about people starting things out too low on Whatnot too, and I don't think you should do that. But again, this is not about Whatnot, so I'm not going to go deep into that. She goes on to say this, and I think this is another really great point that we could talk about. And I've heard other YouTube video people who are talking about Poshmark Lives very concerned about how just anybody is getting on there without even going through training or approval. Apparently, some people are getting on to Posh Lives that aren't even approved and going through training that Poshmark provides. She says this, Posh would be wise to do some heavy training in terms of suggested pricing for these shows. They should also let The bar to entry was The bar to entry was also on the ground. Literally anyone with the link was able to attend the training and book a spot in the beta, even people who have never sold an item on Poshmark, which is kind of scary, in my opinion. Because there's just people going in there not even knowing how it works on Poshmark and throwing these lives up there. Yeah. Similar to hosting a Posh party, Posh Lives should be the main event. 3 a night, pre-chosen, planned, elevated, well attended. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down a little bit. There's more. Again, you'll see it in the link if you want to look at more of it, because I don't want to take up all your time on this. Okay, then another, I don't know if this was the same gal. Let me see if this was the same gal. It is. Okay, so she comes down further in the article saying, due to an oversaturated market, Poshmark shows are officially a garage sale. And then she gives an update on what happened to her when she was a very first Posh live person. This is very interesting, guys. Listen to this. The part of the beta test, the number of shows allowed at one time was limited. This was when she very first started out doing Posh Lives, when it just started in beta testing. This was amazing. It was only completely with two. Okay, let me start this again. I'm butchering this. I'm sorry. Okay. The part of beta testing, the number of shows allowed at one time was limited. This was amazing. I was only competing with 2 other sellers at 7 o'clock and had 140 people in my live. My items commanded a fair price. I made $730 in my first show, sale of 10 items. Second, my sale was a week later, opted for a daytime show, and had about 40 people in my show. There were 6 to 8 other shows happening at the same time. I made $520 and sold 8 items. You're noticing that it's declining? My third show was at 7 o'clock again, opting to return to prime time, hoping for more traffic. My viewers capped at 40 again, and I made $220 on 8 items, again declining. My fourth show, I chose to do a late 9 o'clock show, avoiding traffic. I collected this data over my story over 24 hours and decided to run starts at $8 and $10, which I think is very reasonable. 2 items sold at that price, and they were not bid up. These were high ticket items that I ended up taking a loss on. Not cute. Sales were under $100 for that show. Last night I went live at 9 o'clock again to avoid competition. She ran 20 pieces with a starting price of $25. These are items that easily sell for $35 to $40 listed. I received 0 bids in 2 hours, but I did not put on the performance of anyway, she was talking about a performance with Taylor Swift. This is personal data here that's been collected. Then she goes on to say, this is interesting, guys. Poshmark has 6 million active monthly users. Less than a fraction of 1% of those users are in live shows at any given time. Traffic is usually under 500 total viewers. Poshmark is putting a lot of effort into advertising these shows and taking traffic off the listed items on the app. They have banners, notifications, flooding our timelines, promotions. You can't even turn off the notifications. And I'm going to stop there with all that. You can finish the article. But she has some really interesting points and some personal data from doing her own shows. I would love to know in the comments down below, you guys, what you think of this data that she shared. Do you think that them continually doing what they're doing with these shows and allowing people to start out a low ball, not controlling how many people are going live at one time, and all of that, what do you think of this data and information that she shared? I also think it's really important to note too, she was right about what she was saying about the cog and all, not the cog, but the what was she talking about? The sustainability of the prices, you know, what things sell for. And you know, when we go in and do a cog on items, okay, those cogs are getting lower and lower because they're going by partly what is being sold on auction. And if something is selling for $3 on auction, the cog is going to come down. If you have something that sold for $40 and then you have something that's sold for $3, that cog is now going to drop if you're going to continue to have people selling things at $3 compared to $40 like she was talking about. We're going to be seeing lower cogs, lower selling numbers. Yeah, they are cogs, not cogs, not cost of goods. When we go on and do, you know what I'm talking about. You go on and you check what something's sold for. I'm mixing up my terms here. You know what I mean. When you go into Poshmark and you look up an item to see what it's sold for, comps. The comps are going to start changing because the items are selling so cheap on these platforms versus if you had something sell for 35, something sell for 40, something sell for 30. The average comp in there is 35, but now that we've got things selling for 3 and you have something selling for 35, you see what she's saying? We're going to start seeing much lower comps on Poshmark because of the amount that's being sold so low. Okay, so that's like 20 minutes of that. I don't want to go into too much of this. I want to know in the comments below your thoughts on this article and your thoughts on what's happening and how Poshmark lives are not only affecting sales, but how could it affect future and selling on Poshmark. There's also more in here about notifications and all that. Again, I'm gonna let you guys take time to read that. But after seeing this, I really wanted to bring this to our attention and get some conversation going about this. I know a lot of people are not happy with what's going on with Poshmark. I will say this though, I have definitely noticed an uptake in my sales on Poshmark. I've also noticed an uptake in sales. Actually, I've noticed an uptake in sales on Poshmark more than eBay and Mercari. I'm still waiting for eBay and Mercari to pick up a bit more, but I have noticed a bit more sales in the last week or so. But I've also been increasing how much I'm listing. So that probably could make a difference too. I have been getting activity on Poshmark and Mercari. So that is changing. It is improving, and that's just due to the time of year, plus how much I am listing myself on a daily basis. So now that we have the Poshmark Lives out of the way, I want to talk about some other things, y'all. I have some other great topics here. Poshmark tools, before I go into this other thing. Poshmark tools. I am thinking about switching my sharing tool from one tool to another, and I will keep you posted on if I decide to actually change it. And one of my reasons for doing that is I want to be able to send offers out to likers 24/7 instead of when my computer screen is open. And right now on Posha VA, if your computer screen is shut down for the night, or it has, you know how it kind of goes, to sleep, it doesn't send offers to likers unless you wake the computer up again. I am possibly looking for something where I can send offers to likers on something 24/7 and not worry about my system being asleep. And my current on Posha VA doesn't do that. When I wake up in the morning and I've gotten likes on things all night, as soon as I open my screen and it wakes up, it sends all these offers out, okay? I want those offers to go out in the time frame that I want them to go out. So I am considering changing my tool with that. Are you guys noticing your sales increasing now that we are near the end of January and February is just around the corner? I have noticed from other people, they haven't gone back up to where they were, but there's definitely an uptake in sales. And I am also not just getting lowball offers. I'm getting some decent offers. I've got one item, multiples of an item that I'm selling right now, and I'm really pleased with the offers that I'm getting on that. So I am getting an uptake in sales, and I'm not just getting lowball offers. So I'm happy with that. I am also getting lowball offers, don't get me wrong. But I'm also getting some decent offers too. Okay, so before I go into that, I want to talk about a new tool that I learned about a couple weeks ago that I started using that I want to share with you, and I want to get your thoughts on it. It's called Magiscript, and I'll put it down here below so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Magiscriptor. It's a tool that I learned about from another person where you can put, let me see, like tag information, like, when you do your tags, like you say for a workout top, activewear, athleisure, workout, whatever. You put information in the base top bar on this. I'm going to put it up here for you so you guys can see it. You put information in there, and Magiscriptor will take that information and connect it with Google and give you an actual description for your item. And I'll do a screenshot here of one of my items so you can actually see what it looks like. It's pretty amazing. And this company apparently has done research, and the way they made this app is so it connects with the Google information about how people are looking items up to hopefully get more traffic to your items to sell more items more quickly. Plus, it gives a really neat description of the item when you just put in those keywords. It does the description for you. So you don't have to sit there for several minutes trying to dream up a really great description. It does it for you. And my understanding is the cost is like 5 cents or 7 cents per listing, which is really great. When you start out, I think it's like 5 cents a listing. And then I bumped up my subscription to the next one. So I think I'm paying like 6 or 7 cents or 5 cents per listing to have them make this description for me. And then you move it over into your thing and it creates your listing for you. So then all you have to do is finish your details out and put your listing up. I found out about this and I've been trying it out, and I'm actually kind of enjoying it. I would love to give your feedback from y'all. Have you heard about Magiscriptor? Have you ever tried it? And if you have, what do you think about it? And hearing about and seeing what it does, would you be interested in doing something like that so that you have a better description? Hopefully maybe getting more eyes on your items because of the way they did the description. Tell me in the comments down below what you think of this. I don't know that I just started, I started using it about a week and a half ago that I stopped using it because I had to figure out the way that I list, how to incorporate Magic Scripture in with how I do my listings. And as of this morning, yesterday, I started using it more. I used it on all my listings today. So I haven't had a frequency enough or consistency enough of using it to see if it's going to help with my sales. But I'm curious to know what you guys think of this app. If you've heard of it, have you used it before? And if you haven't, would you think about using it, knowing what it provides? Okay, the next topic of conversation is springtime is just around the corner, y'all. I don't know about you, but I've already noticed people liking my sandals, liking my shorts, and liking other items that are springtime related. I still get interest in kind of coats and long sleeve items, but I'm starting to get more likes and interest in my springtime items. Now, I already have pretty much most of my winter stuff listed, and I've already started been working on my activewear and my shorts and all those other things. Even though I already have things listed, I had inventory that came in, and I'm starting to get those listed. I just listed a bunch of swim bottoms today. I've got a few more to list. Are you guys already listing springtime stuff? I think it is definitely time to start listing springtime stuff. And I think within the next month, we're definitely going to see more of a transition of people not liking as much as the winter stuff and liking more of the spring stuff. And we're going to be transitioning here soon into selling a lot more springtime stuff and then going in, obviously, summer. So comment down below and tell me if you've already started listing spring and summer things. If you've noticed people already showing an interest in your items and liking your items, have you already sold some springtime items? I would love to know in the comments down below if you've already noticed that transfer of the season changes in your store yet. Okay, I would love to know in the comments down below, this is a new topic, what you guys' average COG is. And the reason why I asked that, I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and I have some people that I watch that literally list just higher end items and do very well with them. And then I know some people who sell mainly just lower end items and sell a lot of items. And then I know some people who sell a mix of the lower end items. What I mean by that is something that sells anywhere from like $20 to $30 on average on up to like $50 or more, $40 or more on an item. Do you do a mix of those? Do you just focus on the lower end items, or do you focus on higher end items? I'd love to know in the comments down below, knowing those brackets of what you sell things at, what your typical COG is. If you sell lower end items, like I said, something that sells for like maybe $20 to $30, what your average COG is on those items. And if you sell higher end items, that like $40 or $50 or more that sell, what is your average COG on items like that? And do you source them at the stores, or do you source them online? I would love to know in the comments down below what your average COG is for your lower end items, higher end items. What do you averagely sell, lower end or higher end or a mix? And what your average COG is on those items. I think it'd be interesting to have a conversation about that, because that really kind of determines what your COG is. And, you know, if you're being mindful of your COG so that when you sell something, you're making your money that you need to be making on that item. I'd be interested to know, because one of the reasons I'm curious is because COGs are going to be different for a lot of people, especially if you source in your own thrift store. In my thrift stores, my COGs are lower than a lot of other people's thrift stores because my prices out here are actually very reasonable in my thrift stores. Our prices have gone up a little bit, but honestly, like my skirts are like $3.75. My jeans are like $5.25. My average top is probably like $4.75. I can get a polo shirt for like $4.25 or $4.75. Some people that I know get dresses that are like $7 and $8. My dresses are usually $5.25. So my COG in my thrift stores is actually comparatively low compared to people in Oregon, people in Florida, and other places like that. So really, those COGs really determine whether or not people buy those items or do they source online. There's a lot of variables in there for COGs, right? Sometimes actually, though, too, my COG can be lower sourcing online. But sometimes if I'm buying a nicer brand, my COG can be higher. And I have made mistakes this last year. Like y'all know, when I did my free people unboxing, that COG for those items was definitely too high. And I'm sad to say, I haven't sold very many of them yet, which is kind of disappointing to me. Also, I think free people is getting kind of saturated. And I think that's part of the reason why I haven't sold as many. And I think in the next month or two, I'm going to need to be willing to at least take offers just to at least get it out the door and at least make my COG back. I may have to get my COG back and just maybe a couple dollars more instead of doubling my money to at least get that inventory moved. Now I know not to buy those free people boxes on Helpsy Source where my COG was $9 per piece, and most of those items typically don't. The comps on those items that sell typically aren't more than like $15, $18 at the most. So that was not a good buy-in COG. Now some people can get those intimates of free people for like $3 or maybe at a couple dollars at the bins. That's a totally different situation, right? So I'm curious to know what your average COGs are for things on your lower end items and your higher end items. And is your store mixed up of lower end and a higher end? Or do you mostly sell lower end or mostly sell higher end? Okay, y'all, I would also love to know, since we're winding this chat up for the week, what your goals were this last week. Did you reach your goals? Did you list your 5+ items a day? Or what is your goal to list? Are your sales increasing? How are your photos doing? Are you improving on your listings if you needed to? Did you do the cross posting that you wanted to do? Comment down below and tell me if you reached the goals this week that you wanted to reach. For me, my goal this next week, I have some unboxings to do, and the unboxings that I'm doing, I have a higher end piece unboxing to do, and I am super excited to see how well those do. So I will keep you posted on that. I am going to try to be better about doing some what solds, and I would love to know in the comments down below, do you like the short that I did of the solds, just doing like a shorts video of my solds, or would you like me to actually do more of an involved what sold video about where it sold, what my COG was, and what I made? Or do you like the shorts idea? Tell me in the comments down below what you guys like. Do you like more of a breakdown or just me throwing it out there quick 10-15 seconds of a few solds that I made? Also, I would love to know in the comments down below some ideas of shorts you guys would like me to do. I have one queued up that I'm going to be putting out here pretty soon. So I will share that with you. And I have some unboxings coming up this week, some unboxings you guys don't want to miss. And also, I would love to know where you all are sourcing from, because I know even online sourcing right now, some of the COGs have been kind of high, even for higher end brands. Like I was looking on a site today, and the higher end brand, it was just crazy because the COG for the brand was like $50 per piece, and it's selling for like $45 on the platforms. And I'm like, there's no way people are going to buy this. You're just not even going to make your money on the COG back. So comment down below and tell me what your goals were. Did you reach your goals? And what are your goals this next week? I really think it's important to be goal-oriented and know so that we're changing and improving our businesses to make more money throughout the year, right? So I'd love to hear how you're doing, what your goals are this week, and what you would like to change and tweak to improve things. I was averaging about 20 listings a day. My whatnot auctions are not what they used to be. And what I'm saying by that is I'm not doing auctions of clothes right now. I'm focusing on building up community. I have items in buy it now, so I am still hopefully selling items when people want to buy items. But my goal on whatnot right now is to be involved in the community, and I'm doing co-hosting with other people in the chat for them to come on and co-host with me and share their experience on Whatnot as a reseller, how they're building up their platform and how they got started on Whatnot or in reselling. So we're doing those kinds of chats, and I'm also having some guest speakers on Whatnot, people who are seasoned in Whatnot, who resell on Whatnot and other platforms. I'm inviting them to come on and share their story on Whatnot chats, how they got started in reselling, whether it's Whatnot or other places. So it's been exciting and people are loving it. We started doing that a couple weeks ago, and it's been really great. So that's what I'm doing. And then I have my things in buy it now. So I'm not actually auctioning pieces off right now. Right now, I'm just really enjoying interacting with other resellers and sharing in community. And I'm learning from other people Because these people who are on Whatnot aren't just selling on Whatnot. A lot of these people are selling on other platforms, and they're not just sharing their experience on Whatnot, but they're sharing their experience, how they got started in reselling. And I'll tell you what, you guys, I love hearing their stories about how they got started in reselling. I think it'd actually be kind of fun to do interviews with people to find out how they got started in reselling and their experience and what got them started and how they started out, how they changed things. I think people's stories on reselling is amazing. I think it'd be really cool to even maybe be able to do some of those here on YouTube. That's just another thing we could try and do. I'd have to figure out the logistics of it. But tell me in the comments down below if you guys would like to hear stories about how people got started on reselling on here. Maybe we could figure out logistically how to do some interviews. That's another option we could do too. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. I don't want it to be too long. It's already been like half an hour, and I do try to keep them about 30 minutes to 40 minutes maybe. But comment down below if you guys have any questions or any thoughts on topics for next week's chat. What you think about this week's chat on the Poshmark Lives, the seller tools, what you guys are using, all that good stuff. Comment down below, you guys. Look forward to hearing from y'all. Guys, we'll see you in the next video.